Hello, and welcome to Public Forum Debate The Basics. This is a video forum how-to on the basic information and pointers you need to know when starting out in public forum debate. Some general information. What is it? Public forum is a form of debate closely relating to parliamentary speaking and other events such as Congress or Lincoln Douglas. Who competes? Competitors anywhere from grade 7th to 16th take part in competitions around the country. Debaters feature two teams on two teams each, both arguing a side of the month's set resolution. The task. As said before, both teams made up of two debaters, both have a side of the resolution they must argue. One side must argue pro and the other con. This means exactly what it sounds like. One side is saying yes and why the resolution is good, and the other is saying no to the resolution and why. This also relates back to writing case, which I will get into soon. Some extra information. What should you really know? So before the debate round begins, one team will flip a coin and the other calls the side it will land on in the air. Depending on which side it lands on is who gets to choose what they want. Let's say you call heads and the coin lands on heads. You have the option to choose if you will argue pro or con, or if you would like to speak first or second. Word of advice, always choose to speak second unless the topic is totally weighed towards a pro or a con case. It gives you the last word and perhaps even the upper hand in the debate. Speeches and their times. So, one thing you want to get acquainted with is the different speeches and their times when you first begin public forum debate. So if you do in fact win the coin toss and you choose to speak second, you will be speaking here. The first speaker of the team will be here. Then here again. Then once more here. And finally here. So in total, both speakers have two speeches and they both each equal 4 and 2 minutes. Also, you will both participate in two individual crossfires, such as this one for speakers 1 and 2. This will be speaker 1 of the first team, and speaker 2, which is your team, such as you if you were the first speaker. You will both be competing in different crossfires, such as this, where speaker 3 and 4 take place in this crossfire, and speaker 1 and 2 take part in this first crossfire. So the opening constructive. The opening constructive is exactly what it sounds like. It is an opening time to explain your first arguments and really win the judge over early with obscure arguments. You have to remember that these are only 4 minutes long, so you want to be able to manage your time efficiently and get all your points and arguments in. As I said before, speaker 1 and 2, after the both two opening constructives are complete, will engage in a 3-minute crossfire. Word of advice, always be prepared for crossfire. Have questions available and even responses. If you have to look at your blocks, do so, but you don't want to be dependent on that one pamphlet of paper. Now, going on to the next crossfire and the rebuttals. The rebuttals are as such as the opening speech, where we have two 4-minute periods, where speaker 3, which would be speaker 1 in this case in the rebuttals, and speaker 4, which would be speaker 2 in this case for the rebuttals, will both give their refutations to the opponent's arguments. Then again, they engage in a crossfire, a 3-minute crossfire again. And as I said before, you want to be completely prepared with questions and answers you may possibly be encountered with. Then it goes on to the summary, where the second and first speaker encounter themselves again, where they begin to go into their summaries, which explains the main voting issues in the argument, in the debate, and why the judge should vote for your side of the debate. Now, we can move into Grand Crossfire, which averages 3 minutes, as the other crossfires do. Grand Crossfires with all of the speakers, so remember again to be ready. Very stressing that you have to be ready for crossfire. Crossfire is actually where most debates are lost, so you want to be prepared. Then we move on to final focus, which has the same length as summary, 2 minutes, and again, you want to be able to manage your time wisely, and then you've done it, you've completed the round. Being prepared. Materials. When participating in a debate tournament, you must be prepared for the worst. This means you must have plenty of paper to flow or write notes on. You must have several copies of your pro and con cases, and you must have your sources in order. And oh, don't forget a writing utensil. I don't recommend a computer for taking notes, but they are always helpful for having with you. Strong arguments. Unless you plan on getting destroyed every debate, you want to have a strong argument and case that makes sense and are adequately backed by your sources. This includes an article or study, or even an interview or a newspaper article created by a certain author. It really doesn't matter as long as you have the legitimate sources to back your thought out claims. When creating an argument, look at possible responses from all points of view in the topic, not just your own side. It can only help you get more acquainted with the subject and become smarter for the debate itself. Some general rules you should be aware of. Very few actual rules in the public forum debate, other than some unspoken rules. Whereas, you're not supposed to really cut someone off in the middle of the crossfire, first speaker always gets first question in crossfire, and you should always remain to the guidelines and time limits that you have on your speeches, even if the judge doesn't stop you. It not only looks professional, but actually backs your arguments and solidifies it more if you seem like you're on a set schedule and you know what you're talking about and you split it into enough time where you're done in the required amount of time. Cases. When going into debate, you obviously have to bring with you a prepared case for both sides of the resolution, meaning pro and con. Without these, your cause is almost a loss because it doesn't make sense to go and make up arguments on the spot. You must take your time in creating your cases, for they are what win the rounds. Obscure pieces of evidence from areas such as the second page of Google can even help cite your case. Always remember to give credit to those who deserve it. You always have to remember that these debate cases are very important in the actual thought of winning the debate, because these actual arguments are what win the judge over in the beginning. Because there are some arguments that are so obscure that no matter how hard you try to refute them, they just can't be done. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm willing to answer anything, and if you have any pointers for me, I'm willing to listen to them. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and thank you for watching.